Nimitz was the site of a tragic military accident after a jet fighter conducting nighttime training exercises crash-landed on the flight deck, killing 14, injuring dozens more, and causing millions of dollars in damages.
The Nimitz was on exercises off Jacksonville in preparation for being deployed to the Caribbean. For the past week, Marine Corps Prowler aircraft such as this had safely practiced scores of takeoffs and landings. But last night, it was different. Navy officials said the radar jamming jet touched down a little to the right of the center line, grazing several other aircraft parked near the fantail. The jet careened past the carrier's superstructure, slamming into a row of other airplanes parked forward. Fire immediately erupted.
One of the worst American carrier accidents would see 14 men die, dozens more injured, and an estimated $150 million in damaged or destroyed aircraft when the twin-engine EA-6B Prowler, with 4 crewmen aboard, attempted to land on the nuclear-powered carrier. Instead, it dipped right, hit other parked jets, engulfing them and crewmen in flames.
It all happened so fast that all you could see was just flying pieces of aircraft, little pieces, just everywhere, and then the fire just took off one right after another.
Less than 48 hours after the May 26, 1981 accident, the Nimitz arrived back at its home port in Norfolk, Virginia, greeted by friends and family, awaiting news of the accident.
It was greeted by quiet cheers and tears, following a fiery crash on its flight deck late Tuesday night off the Florida coast. One of the worst carrier accidents in U.S. Navy history.
No bands, no banners, but joy that loved ones were safe.
It's been rough, not knowing if your husband and your friends are alive or not. You just have to sit and wait. It's been hell.
Men that operate aircraft off ships, men that operate ships on the high seas realize it's a tough way to live. They do it. Maybe there's a little bit of macho in it because it's exciting and it's dangerous all the time. We're just going to keep doing it. We hate to see these kinds of things happen. We try to do everything we can to prevent it from happening.
That same day, the Navy released this photograph of the crash and ammunition exploding as crewmen tried to control the inferno.
Videotapes of the accident were being kept secret because it was explained they will be used in the Navy's accident probe.
The Prowler was a physically taxing aircraft to fly, without the electronic flight controls in later generations of military aircraft. Officials suspected pilot error, but wouldn't be able to confirm its suspicions until the investigations were complete.
After the crash last month of a jet fighter on the U.S. nuclear-powered carrier Nimitz, the Navy said it appeared pilot error caused the accident. But a congressman charged today that drug use by some of the ship's crew may have been a factor.
Congressional investigators say autopsies show that some of the sailors and Marines killed by a plane crash on the carrier Nimitz were found to have traces of drugs in their systems. The Navy categorically denies that drugs contributed to the crash that took 14 lives aboard the Nimitz.
As far as the Nimitz was concerned, our investigators were told that a majority of those who were killed on the Nimitz showed some sign of illegal drug. We do not have a full report of what that drug is. It appears to be probably marijuana, but again, we're waiting for the Navy to give us the full report.
In a letter to Adabo, Navy Secretary John Lehman says there was no trace whatsoever of any kind of drug in the recovered remains of the air crew of the plane that crashed, and Lehman urged Adabo not to relate any drug investigation to the Nimitz tragedy.
In the end, investigators determined that a combination of environmental, mechanical, and human factors were the cause of the accident. And even though drugs were not determined to be a factor in the crash itself, the Navy quickly implemented a zero-tolerance anti-drug policy.